Qschqql. Trump Daddy, let's go, Trump Daddy!
Put that overlay in there.
Wow, that's a lot of people. That's a new record. We set a record every time. Well, thank you very much for being here. The Supreme Court's ruling on tariffs is deeply disappointing, and I'm ashamed of certain members of the court, absolutely ashamed, for not having the courage to do what's right for our country. I'd like to thank and congratulate Justices Thomas, Alito, and Kavanaugh for their strength and wisdom.
How did you get that one in the
and love of our country, which is right now very proud of those justices. When you read the dissenting opinions, there's no way that anyone can argue
that
against
was on
them.
the cover photo.
There's no way.
That was on our screen.
Foreign countries that have been ripping us off for years are ecstatic. They're so happy. And they're dancing in the streets, but they won't be dancing for long, that I can assure you. The Democrats on the court are thrilled, but they will automatically vote no. They're an automatic no, just like in Congress. They're an automatic no. They're against anything that makes America strong, healthy, and great again. They also are a, frankly, disgrace to our nation, those justices. They're an automatic no, no matter how good a case you have. It's a no. But you can't knock their loyalty. It's one thing you can do with some of our people. Others think they're being politically correct, which has happened before far too often with certain members of this court, and it's happened so often with this court. What a shame. Having to do with voting in particular, when in fact they're just being fools and lapdogs for the rhinos and the radical left Democrats, and not that
You tell
question
them,
has
Daddy,
anything
you
at all
tell
to do
them.
with it. They're very unpatriotic and disloyal to our Constitution. It's my opinion that the court has been swayed by foreign interests and a political movement that is far smaller than people would ever think. It's a small movement. I won by millions of votes. We won in a landslide. With all the cheating that went on, there was a lot of it, but we still won in a landslide. Too big to rig. But these people are obnoxious, ignorant, and loud. They're very loud. And I think certain justices are afraid of that. They don't want to do the right thing. They're afraid of it. This was an important case to me, more as a symbol of economic national security, and also, I would say, just for our country itself, so important, because we're doing so well as a country. We've never done so well. The good news is that there are methods, practices, statutes, and authorities, as recognized by the entire court in this terrible decision, and also as recognized by Congress, which they refer to, that are even stronger than the IEEPA tariffs available to me as President of the United States. And in actuality, I was very modest in my ask of other countries and businesses because I wanted to do, and it's very important, I wanted to be very well behaved because I wanted to do anything, I didn't want to do anything that would affect the decision of the court, because I understand the court. I understand how they are very easily swayed. I want to be a good boy. I have very effectively utilized tariffs over the past year to make America great again. Our stock market has just recently broken 50,000 on the Dow, and simultaneously, and even more amazingly, broken 7,000 on the S&P, two numbers that everybody thought upon our landslide election victory could not be attained. Think of that. Nobody thought it was possible to do it within 4 years, and we did it in 1 year. They said, you'll never be able, you'll go back and you read the geniuses, read their statements, all of the Nobel Prize winners in economics. They said, no, you couldn't do it in 4 years. Well, we didn't do it in 4 years. We did it in 1 year. We broke every record in the book, and we're continuing to do so. Tariffs have likewise been used to end 5 of the 8 wars that I settled. I settled 8 wars, whether you like it or not, including India, Pakistan, big ones, nuclear, could have been nuclear. Prime Minister of Pakistan said yesterday at the great meeting that we had, the Peace Board, he said yesterday that President Trump could have saved 35 million lives by getting us to stop fighting. They were getting ready to do some bad things. But they've given us great national security, these tariffs have. And together with our strong borders, reduced fentanyl coming into our country by 30%. When I use them as a penalty against countries illegally sending this poison into our country to poison our youth. All of those tariffs remain. They all remain. I don't know if you know that or not. They all remain. We're still getting them, and we will after the decision. I guess there's nobody left to appeal to. But again, those 3 people, such respect. I've had a lot of respect for them anyway, but such great respect. But other alternatives will now be used to replace the ones that the court incorrectly rejected. We have alternatives, great alternatives. Could be more money. We'll take in more money, and we'll be a lot stronger for it. We're taking in hundreds of billions of dollars. We'll continue to do so. To show you how ridiculous the opinion is, however, the court said that I'm not allowed to charge even $1. I can't charge $1. Can't charge $1. I would have used 1 penny, but we don't make the pennies anymore. We save money. Can't charge $1 to any country under IEPA. Not $1. I assume to protect other countries. This must have been done to protect those other countries, certainly not the United States of America, which they should be interested in protecting. That's what they're supposed to be protecting. But I am allowed to cut off any and all trade or business with that same country. In other words, I can destroy the trade. I can destroy the country. I'm even allowed to impose a foreign country destroying embargo. I can embargo. I can do anything I want, but I can't charge $1. Because that's not what it says. And that's not the way it even reads. I can do anything I want to do to them, but I can't charge any money. So I'm allowed to destroy the country, but I can't charge them a little fee. I could give them a little 2-cent fee, but I cannot charge under any circumstances. I cannot charge them anything. Think of that. How ridiculous is that? I'm allowed to embargo them. I'm allowed to tell them you can't do business in the United States anymore. We want you out of here. But if I want to charge them $10, I can't do that. It's incorrect. Their decision's incorrect. But it doesn't matter because we have very powerful alternatives that have been approved by this decision. You know, they've been approved by the decision for those that thought they had us. And they're saying that I have the absolute right to license, but not the right to charge a license fee. So think of that. I have the right to license, which is a very powerful word. In many ways, license is more powerful than tariffs. In fact, I was thinking about using it. But they came up with the idea that I can license, just like the people that were opposing me told them to do, but not the right to charge a license fee. Think of that. Who ever heard of such a thing? What license has ever been issued without the right to charge a fee? You get a license, you charge a fee. It's automatic, but not with this court. But now the court has given me the unquestioned right to ban all sorts of things from coming into our country, to destroy foreign countries, but a much more powerful right than many people ever thought we even had, but not the right to charge a fee. How crazy is that? Our country is the hottest country anywhere in the world right now. And it was a dead country 1.5 years ago under an incompetent president. But now I'm going to go in a different direction, probably the direction that I should have gone the first time, but I read the language. I'm very good at reading language, and it read our way 100%. But now I'll go the way I could have gone originally, which is even stronger than our original choice. As Justice Kavanaugh,
We just got to work around them.
so,
Work
you'd have to
around
see.
them.
I'm so proud of him. Wrote in his dissent Although I firmly disagree with the court's holding today, the decision might not substantially constrain a president's ability to order tariffs going forward. So, think of that. The decision might not substantially constrain. And it doesn't, he's right. In fact, I can charge much more than I was charging. So I'm going to just start. Although I firmly disagree with the court's holding today, the decision might not substantially constrain a president's ability to order tariffs going forward. That's because numerous other federal statutes, which is so true, authorize the president to impose tariffs and might justify most, if not all, of the tariffs issued in this case. Even more tariffs, actually. Those statutes include, think of that, those statutes include, for example, the Trade Expansion Act of 1962, Section 232. All of these things I know so well. The Trade Act of 1974, Sections 122, 201, 301. And the Tariff Act of 1930, Section 338, all clear. But it's a little bit longer process. I thought I'd make things simple, but they didn't let us do that. I would like to thank Justice Kavanaugh for frankly, his genius and his great ability. Very proud of that appointment. In actuality, while I am sure that they did not mean to do so, the Supreme Court's decision today made a president's ability to both regulate trade and impose tariffs more powerful and more crystal clear rather than less. I don't think they meant that. I'm sure they didn't. It's terrible. And to think that the Democrats who oppose this only because they want to go the opposite way, they'd like to pack the court. They want to put on 21 people. They want to pack the court, pack the Supreme Court. Maybe they should do it. Maybe they would be better off if they did it. They want to pack the court. They want to do anything to hurt our country. There will no longer be any doubt, and the income coming in and the protection of our companies and country will actually increase because of this decision. I don't think the court meant that, but it's the way it is. Based on long-standing law and hundreds of victories, and even, as I was pointed out before, even thousands of victories over the years, to the contrary, the Supreme Court did not overrule tariffs. They merely overruled a particular use of IEEPA tariffs. And essentially, it's used to get a fee. I can do anything I want with IEEPA, anything. I just can't charge anybody for it. I can license, I just can't charge them. It's ridiculous, but it's okay because we have other ways, numerous other ways. The ability to block, embargo, restrict, license, or impose any other condition on a foreign country's ability to conduct trade with the United States under IEEPA has been fully confirmed by this decision. So now there's no doubt, because, you know, there were a lot of questions about tariffs because no president was smart enough to use them to protect our country from those countries and businesses that were ripping us off. You took a look at the deficits that we had with some of these countries. It was disgraceful what they got away with for many, many decades. But now we know, because this decision affirms all those things that some people weren't sure about. In order to protect, and it says so, in order to protect our country, a president can actually charge more tariffs than I was charging in the past period of a year under the various tariff authorities. So we can use other of the statutes, other of the tariff authorities, which have also been confirmed and are fully allowed. Therefore, effective immediately, all national security tariffs under Section 232 and existing Section 301 tariffs, they're existing, they're there, remain in place, fully in place, and in full force and effect. Today, I will sign an order to impose a 10% global tariff under Section 122 over and above our normal tariffs already being charged. And we're also initiating several Section 301 and other investigations to protect our country from unfair trading practices of other countries and companies. Thank you for your attention to this matter, and I say quite simply, which I've said for a long time, make America great again. And interestingly, we've already made it great, so I don't have to use that, but I don't think we'll ever give up on MAGA. MAGA is always going to be with us. If you have a few questions, you can let us know. But just to end, so we're going forward, we will be able to take in more money, and there'll no longer be doubt, because there was always doubt. I know the people that brought the lawsuit, and they're sleazebags, major sleazebags, but I know them, and they're foreign country centric. They were sending things into our country, and the people representing them knew full well, but they were sending things into our country, and they were beneficial to other countries, but very, very bad for us. And I stopped it, and we'll just keep it going. So we have we have a totally firm decision now, and I don't think the court meant it, because the court doesn't show great spirit toward our country, in my opinion. A lot of bad decisions, but there are usually ways around it. This is something we could have done, as Justice Kavanaugh said, we could have done this originally, but we're doing it now, and the numbers could be far greater than the hundreds.
We'll just work around them, sir. Work around them.
Yeah, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I'm very curious. You've spoken about
in the red.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. Justice Thomas and Alito, as you know, are the most conservative constitutional justices. Do you think that you'll get to appoint 2 more justices later this term with similar ideologies? And what type of vetting process will they go through to ensure they uphold
I don't know, but they're great
Constitution?
justices. That's all I can say. And I hope they're going to be around a long time. I hope they're going to stay healthy. They're great people. They're great. And Justice Alito, too, to add to the group. These are great men.
Right.
They're with a great love of our country and a great understanding of the law.
Mr. President, are you going to ask Congress to take additional action on tariffs now?
No, I don't need to. It's already been approved. I mean, I would ask Congress and probably get it. When people look at the real numbers, and you look at hundreds of billions of dollars that have come into our country. Yesterday, I was at a steel plant, as you know, and I went to great place, great plant, great, wonderful people. And they were telling me, I said to them, you were there, a lot of the press in this room. Of course, I don't think this plane's big enough to take the press in this room, but a lot of the press right here. We were in Georgia. And I said to the owner, I made a speech at a factory. They make steel products. And I said, how are you? Nice to meet you. How's business? President, I'd love to kiss you. This is a very powerful man. I don't want to be kissed by that man, but a very powerful, strong man. He's been in the steel business for many years. His father started it. And he said, sir, I want to kiss you. I said, why? He said, because we were down to working 1 hour a week, and then you came in and imposed tariffs, and all of that foreign junk that they were dropping into our country stopped. And we're now going to double shifts, 7 days a week, and we may be very soon going to 24 hours around the clock, almost 7 days a week. He said, sir, I want to kiss you so badly. And I said, no, thank you. But you know what? He just to finalize it, he said, oh, this is a great place in Georgia. He said, all up and down the highway, same exact answer, sir. We're all going out of business. We're going to go bankrupt. We're all going out of business. And now every one of us are thriving, and we're hiring people like we haven't. He said, like I've never, and he's been in business for, I think, 45 years, like we've never hired before. That's because of tariffs. And we're going to keep it going the same way. And you're going to start to see the results in a year from now when all those factories start that are under construction right now. You see all the construction numbers are so good. Those construction workers are building factories that are going to be open, including not only AI, which is big, but car plants coming in from Canada, who ripped us off for 30% of our market. Mexico ripped us off for a big portion. Over the years, they've taken our market. They've taken our cars. They manufacture them in Japan, Germany, and all over the place because nobody's standing in this position. The position I have as President of the United States had the insight, the courage, well, I don't know what it is, to charge tariffs. You can make your product outside. You can put our people out of business. You can put everybody on the unemployment rolls. But if you're going to make a car in some other country, you're going to pay a 15, 20, 30% tariff. And those things would have never happened. We wouldn't have lost our business. Same thing with, as an example, Taiwan. Taiwan came in. They stole our chip business. They make chips. For 30 years longer, they made chip. And they put our companies. Intel would be now the largest company. I saved Intel. I literally saved it at the beginning of this administration. And now all those companies in Taiwan are building factories in Arizona, Texas, and various other places because they don't want to pay tariffs. They're all pouring into the United States. But just like that great patriot said yesterday, sir, what you've done, nobody thought was possible. And Steve Moore, a highly respected economist, came into my office yesterday. He said, you've done something nobody's ever done. 22 Nobel Prize winners in economics said we would right now be in a recession. And you said, no, we're going to have a booming country. We're going to have a booming country. You were right. All 22 were wrong, and you were right. This country is booming, and it's booming because of the election on November 5th. And it's booming for another reason. It's booming because of tariffs. Yeah, please, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President. What will you say ahead of this decision that if the Supreme Court
please,
rules?
go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President. What will you say to foreign nations who seek to renegotiate their deals? And what did you mean a moment ago when you said that the Supreme Court has been swayed by foreign interests?
Well, I think that foreign interests are represented by people that I believe have undue influence. They have a lot of influence over the Supreme Court, whether it's through fear or respect or friendships, I don't know. But I know some of the people that were involved on the other side, and I don't like them. I think they're real slime balls. And got to do what's right for the country. You got to do what's right for the Constitution. That's why I respect so much Justice Thomas and Alito, Kavanaugh, because they not only dissented, their dissent is so strong. When you read their dissent, you know, a lot of times you'll read a dissent and it's like, well, you don't know, it could go either way. There's no other way. The good news is, it's like Justice Kavanaugh said, very strongly, other ways you can go. You don't have to go that way. You can go other way. There are numerous other ways. This should have been done by presidents many years ago. They allowed our country to be eaten alive. We lost 50% of our car business. We used to make cars. We made all the cars. And then Canada came, and Japan and Germany. But they're all coming back now. They're all coming back at record levels. No, you please. I'm not talking to you. I don't talk to CNN. It's fake news. Go ahead.
Mr. President, yesterday you made the case that the economy is the hottest it's been in a long time.
Right.
January jobs report beat expectations, CPI report beat expectations, real wages are up. What would you tell Americans who are worried that this decision will kind of throw the economy that you have projected going in the right direction at a very rapid pace off track?
Well, thank you for the question. And I will say this, we really are at a very important point. I've been waiting for this decision so long. They could have made this decision a long time ago. Not complex. They're wrong on it. It's a ridiculous decision. But they should have released this a long time ago. We waited months. And that gave uncertainty. Now we have certainty. And I think you're going to see the country get much stronger because of it. Look, we were ripped off by almost every country in the world. If you look at the surpluses, almost every country in the world that did business with us, our people were stupid. And I blame presidents for it because they're ultimately the leader. We were being ripped off by almost every single country in the world had some massive surpluses. China had hundreds of billions of dollars in surpluses with the United States. They rebuilt China. They rebuilt the army. We built China's army by allowing that to happen. I have a great relationship with President Xi, but he respects our country now. Now, what we've done, I charged China a 20% tariff as a penalty for sending fentanyl in. And that was 20 times more than they could make by selling fentanyl. And I said, you know, at some point you're going to say, like, and they have reduced it. You know, fentanyl is down by more than 30% coming into our country. Part of that is our strong border. We have a strong border now. But thank you. Thank you for your question.
Mr. President, sir, you warned once in a social media post that if the Supreme Court did this, shot down your tariffs, the U.S. would be, quote, financially defenseless. Are we financially defenseless right now?
No, because we're doing something in a different way. We're doing something in a very powerful way, and we're using things that some people thought we should have used in the first place. But it's more complicated. It's a little more complicated. The process takes a little more time, but the end result is going to get us more money, and I think it's going to be great. Yeah, please. Peter, go ahead.
Thank you, President Trump.
All right, I think we're going to pause it here for a second. He's going to keep going back and forth with the media here. We're going to come on and say hello to y'all. Some of y'all might have got to check this out a little bit earlier. Many of you haven't. Can't wait to discuss this more with you guys. Man, it's been a wild morning already, wild year already. So we're back in action. Friday, Qschqql. Good to see all the beautiful friends and family. Tim's got the Batman shirt on. MelzieKaye's in the house. How we doing, Timbo?
Doing great, brother. I didn't expect this today, you know, for news like this to unfold the way it has. But I just love President Trump and the education that not only I'm receiving, but all of us are receiving through this press conference. And that's hence why we're replaying it. It just finished just prior to us going live on Qschqql. Said, let's play it just in case some of our brothers and sisters missed what he was talking about. And we're going to try and chisel it all down, break it all down. We got a couple of new Trump truths for you that we're going to read that just came through the wire now. We're going to talk about the IEEPA, and Melzie also dug on some things in regards to what he's talking about, that Section 232 stuff. But anyway, I just love, he's such a genius, you guys. I mean, we got to work around him, right? What's that?
You just got to work around him. Work around him.
Incredible. He didn't mention Amy Coney Barrett once in that press.
You know, I was wondering about that. You know, and I don't know. What was her side of the decision? Did she go against? She
went against. Yeah. She joined the psychopaths, the Democrat side.
Well, the whole thing's kind of interesting. I mean, all these topics where we start, we talk about the movie, the stuff we know, and then like Justice Roberts, you know, was in the Epstein drop. So then does the decision get like thrown out if he's like, you know, removed? Or there's just so many interesting things at play with this that just blows your mind. And then again, the brilliance of our team, Q team, the alliance, the White House, whatever you want to call it, Trump, true republic under military power, and making moves and counter moves, saving the whole damn world, and we're along for the ride. They couldn't do it without us. So shout out all you guys all there along for the ride. It's been wild.
Yeah, Melzie, what did you think, Melzie?
It's like a boomerang, you know. They thought they were going to shut him down, and
shut him down. They were wrong.
It's like boomerang. He's like, well, now I think we're going to get more money than we were before. It's going to cost him more, you know. And so I think that, and it's going to happen pretty quick too. It's not going to take weeks for this to be in play. I think he said 3 days. That's pretty ouchy, you know. So. And he was like, they could have done this a long time ago. They could have made decisions like this. There's always been tariffs too. There's always been tariffs. So I can't understand it from another, like for us to say, well, no, this isn't, we can't do this. But other countries can tariff us, right? Mm-hmm. So I think it'll be fun to dive into the International Emergency Economic Powers Act. I was trying to read through it a little bit, like when you dropped it into Diggers and try and figure it out. But it's pretty powerful. You know, it talks about there being an unusual threat to national security, foreign policy, or economy. And so, you know, we see that, I think, in a lot of different ways, because our money went away because all of our factories and everything economically went to other countries, right? And then they benefited from putting strong tariffs upon our country. So this is a big, I think, statement to the world too, that we're not going to take it.
We're not going to take it anymore. That's right. Yeah. And basically, like what you said in a nutshell was that previous presidents, or I'm going to call them regimes because they were all part of the globalist psychopath
elected leaders.
Elected leaders. They were gutting the United States of America from the inside out.
He's highlighting that by saying that, you know.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So now all that strength, all that power, the manufacturing, the money flow, the people's treasury, the debt shrinking, all of that is coming front and center for all of us to watch it. We're witnessing history, folks. I mean, this stuff like this. I mean, it was done once before by a president, McKinley. McKinley was late 1800s, early 1900s, and they got rid of him. But he was the tariff president back then. And of course, here's Trump. And of course, today's title is Tariff Daddy. You know, he's our Tariff Daddy. But what I love about this I'm really going to enjoy this show because, you know, it is called Qschqql for a reason. We're learning. You know, school is about learning. And there's things that he talked about in that presser. I love it. Tariff your mom last night. Oh, God.
Tariff Daddy in the house. Let's go. Thank you, Supreme Court. And I mean, this is a big deal, guys. If you look at like what Tim's saying, is this very move itself is like a foundation of keeping America strong and powerful because they sold off our jobs. They sold our jobs away, right? Because, and think about it, if you're a business and you're just trying to survive, you're going to increase profit. If I can hire phone workers from China for half the price, I'm going to do it. You know what I mean? And there's no incentive not to, right? If my job is to make profit as a business owner. So what Trump, and that's what a tariff does, is it protects your own country. And that's why he's making trade agreements. And I don't know, I'm going to actually look for the transcript. I don't think they have the transcript up yet just because they just re-clipped it. But he mentioned specifically, well, he was starting to say there too, that it's keeping fentanyl off the street. And you know, if we had an honest media in the world, think about the rah-rah they did about COVID. And they said more deaths from COVID than all the wars combined, just absurd, like outrageous numbers. When we lose 50,000 plus people, and it's almost closer to 100,000 in America alone, to fentanyl overdose. And I mean, I've seen it firsthand. And it's just, I mean, that's our youth too. People from every facet of society are losing their lives. And he's eradicated that, not completely working on it, but with tariffs. And then the other thing is it's prevented wars. He's able, he specifically said that 5 of these 8 peace agreements happened because I was able to use tariffs. And that's the world we're going to go into, is where we trade freely with each other. It's not this cabal, greedy psychopaths controlling the money supply, then controlling the countries and controlling the puppet presidents or royalty, or whoever the fuck they are, while they go off with Jeffrey Epstein and do God knows what. You know what I mean? We're done with this shit, and this is a big part of it. So this is why they're attacking it so hard, and he knew they would do this. They set the trap. And he said right off the bat, 10% global tariff. I don't know how that's going to play out. It's going to be wild.
That was like a little bitch slap towards the Supreme Court ruling against them. But he also had a plan B, a plan C. And of course, we'll get Melzie to bring that up during the show, too. We're going to talk about the plan B. We're going to bring up Kavanaugh. I've got those 2 Trump truths. But I love what Brittany said in the chat. She said, yes, we're leering every day, not learning. We're leering.
Right, leering at the Qschqql. Where you don't spell school, SCHOOL.
Yeah. But I mean, like I said earlier, I mean, just by watching that and doing a little bit of digging in the background, because that's what Anons do. We dig, right? We pulled up some articles and some information about IEEPA. I didn't know anything about that, and now we know. I mean, it's almost like every day we're learning something new from the Trump administration. Right. And it is constitutionally based. I mean, this is all based on the rule of law, the law of the land.
Actually,
which is
following the rule of law.
That's correct.
They told us they would, and you know that kind of always felt like to me like, oh, they're gonna follow the law. You know, it's gonna hurt. They're not gonna win. You're gonna not like it, and, you know.
And then of course, and he says those things about the Supreme Court that have been foreignly influenced by foreign influence or whatever, like that's going to come out. Something's going to come out of that one, because why would has POTUS ever said anything that never became true or fact, which is in the Q drops early on. Right. And what does he know that we don't know yet, right, about some of these Supreme Court justices? I mean, other than you know, we've got Kavanaugh, Alito, and with Kavanaugh, Alito, and what's the other one that he praised? Thomas.
Gorsuch, maybe? Or is that, or Thomas, Clarence Thomas. Yeah, okay,
Clarence Thomas, Alito, and Kavanaugh are the 3 big ones for us, for the good guys. And then you got the offshoot ones. You got Roberts, who's on the Epstein list, the flight list. We can show you that too, John Roberts. And then you got Amy Comey, whatever you want to call her, Comey Barrett. That was and Trump chose her. I remember when he picked her at the end of version number 1. Remember, near the end of his presidency in the first term, he picked her, and there was a lot of back and forth back then. But apparently, they got to her. That somehow, some way, the deep state got to her. they threaten her family or kids or something. I don't know what's going on there, but it's probably pretty horrific.
I feel like we're going to find out about this. Like, you know, it's showing us, the public, about the corruption that is in the Supreme Court. I mean, he doesn't ever say anything flippantly. For him to say that there's some type of interference, like you said, in this, whether it's, you know, we know that we've had foreign interference in our elections, but how is this some type of foreign interference? I'm sure that we're going to be finding out soon.
Oh, we lose Tim. Okay, I want to shout out some of the anons when we get Tim back here too. You guys did some freaking awesome stuff, Tim. We've had some. I was able to check the chat afterwards, and some people did some awesome stuff with our 17 confirmed connections. So I've thought for a long time. I've thought for a long time that with, you know, that confirmed connections, confirmed is 51, and then connections obviously 17. So I'm thinking there's maybe 51. Well, guess what, Tim? So we've had some people doing digs for us in the background. Let's just in the background getting these different numbers. And so Susan Mag5 had 2 the day before. I'm not going to say how many she had yesterday, but Brittany Stover, too, shout out, found 3 of them for us yesterday. She got sort, sound, and heavy, sort, and sound. So 3 of them. Heavy,
we have
17.
Some big helos.
Big, heavy helicopters going over. They'll get excited about the military coming over. This one's rumbling the whole jungle around here.
It's one that carries the people, you know.
Oh, it's got people. There's definitely some movement stuff going on here. So 3 from Brittany, and then Mag5 got 15 other ones, Tim. 15. So I think, about 51 mirrored. And I think that put us at 36 now. So I'm going to give you all the number 36 of the 17. So I think there's 15 more to get us to at least 51. So I can't wait to make the little reel of this one. So again, some she found was sound, finance, station, bottom, shield, none. That's an odd one. None. Shell. That was a good thing to work. Interesting word to look up too. That's a good one. Small, waiting, messages, online, timeline, and players. So we got 36 now on the list. Thank you guys. They're freaking awesome.
And we need 43 or 51?
51 is at least until we get more. And I'll do some pictures of it.
I thought you said it was 43 connections. 43.
Oh, okay. Well, it does say that. Let me show that post then real quick. So let me share my screen here. I'll do this real quick.
That would mean we need 7 more for 43.
Yeah, but it's a little tricky because it's Qschqql 225. So it says map currently has 43 confirmed, but see, I think that's the misdirection, or that's a different number of something, Tim, because if you look up confirmed, we'll do confirmed, and that's why I think that's a connection, because now why is it not copying? You know how many confirmed dropped through? I'll show you right here. I'll just search it real quick. And
51.
Yeah, 51 confirmed. So that's a confirmed connection. So I believe, just personally, there'll be 51 of these confirmed connection. Since connection was 17, there's going to be 51 of these confirmed. That's just my theory. We'll see what happens. We're close to 43. We're only 7 away, so I'm thinking at least 51. And then we're also going to maybe have to do the other numbers, because we've talked about, like, I said targeted is 45 Q drops. Michael is 45 Q drops. Michael 45 first Q drop, 109 of Michael Q drop, Archangel Michael. So some pretty cool stuff. Thank you guys on those digs. Awesome work. Pretty cool. But yeah, let's go back to that Q drop 225, just like Tim was asking though. 225. I wonder what that 43 might be, but I just always felt like it was something different.
Well, when we get to 43 of them, we should do a show and decode the hell out of that. I mean, take all those words and try to mix them into sentences, phrases, whatever. See if we can come up with something.
Right on. Okay, so the reason I brought this up too, doing different searches, you can do different ands and stuff. There's actually a Q post out there, and I can't find it right now, so maybe you guys can help while we're on the show digging. And Q is kind of theorizing, and it says if Trump, it's right around the post when people are theorizing that Trey Gowdy was going to maybe be the Supreme Court justice. And Q says no. It says no ahead of time. Right about that. There's another one. But Q also alludes to if Trump nominates a female as a Supreme Court justice, does that eliminate the whole angle of trying to say he's, you know, sexist or against women? And it winds up being a female. And then the last little bit about the big part of this whole thing, because Howard Lutnick, you know, said he went to Epstein for lunch, and we love Howard. He's been great spoken. He's doing great with the economy. So we all trust in this, the 2.0 stuff, but it's definitely going to be interesting how this plays out. Will some people have to step down? You know, you got to have guys on both sides step away from the movie guys to get everyone involved here. So that's interesting, because then Amy Coney Barrett, that was the only thing I was thinking to him while it was live, because Melzie and I were talking about Lutnick and other stuff like off the back end. But then I was like, man, it's really interesting. Like Amy Coney Barrett, like she seemed to be deep state like all along, right? So she was a 2.0 from the beginning for the White House to select her, but then she's purposely going against Trump. I think obviously it must be for the movie. You know, you don't think this type of thing would be playing out in real time, but you know, maybe it is, because Trump's like, they tried to bring him down, because that's the thing too, is everyone's puppets. It's still the deep state moving their power levers. Yes. So it's wild to watch this, I tell you what.
And you know, if he does show that there's foreign interference in some way with our Supreme Court, that is a huge thing. How else would you demonstrate that unless you had something like this? You know, if he had someone up there that would maybe not be exposed, right? Then you would have maybe a battle going on, and you wouldn't have the same effect, I think. So
that just made me think of, like, you know, not everything can be exposed. Like, table time out, not exposing the Epstein files. What if that comes out that, you know, Chief Justice John Roberts is colluding against the president of the United States with Epstein, like, because Epstein didn't get arrested until 2019. So he could be talking about him in 2017, 2018. Like, what the fuck happens then? And that's just U.S. its own Supreme Court justice. Wait till you find out that your king over there did the same shit, and your prince or whatever, you know, your prime minister, Justin Trudeau, you know, all these assholes are in that shit. It's gonna be wild.
Yeah.
People ain't ready, that's for sure. So we can go back to because he does. I don't know if he mentioned anything about war, or if you guys want to talk about some. I know you guys had some news articles.
Yeah, sure.
Go ahead.
Go ahead,
What
Tim.
you guys thinking? I feel like I'm
thinking
missing
diggers
something.
and going and looking in there, but
Okay, yeah.
what do you think, Tim?
Well, let's finish off the Q&A, because it's not much longer, and then we'll get into the articles and things that we dug up on while we were watching and learning and listening during Qschqql here, and we'll cover all of that stuff too.
Man, there was like so many things that happened yesterday. I was like, oh, we got to go live, and then this happened in the morning. I was like, I can't even remember what the things were now, right? Too. So we got about 17 minutes left, so we'll go back. I'll try to put the comments on the screen, so if you guys are digging in the background, and if something comes up, maybe we'll pause. But otherwise, about 17 minutes, we'll come back. We'll go back to Poppy Trump,
Awesome.
And we'll be back. Sounds good. Right on.
Way. We're doing something in a very powerful way, and we're using things that.
Sir, you warned once in a social media post that if the Supreme Court did this, shot down your tariffs, the U.S. would be, quote, financially defenseless. Are we financially defenseless right now?
No, because we're doing something in a different way. We're doing something in a very powerful way, and we're using things that some people thought we should have used in the first place. But it's more complicated. It's a little more complicated. The process takes a little more time, but the end result is going to get us more money, and I think it's going to be great. Yeah. Peter, go ahead.
Thank you, President Trump. So, since Liberation Day, there's about $175 billion in tariff revenue that is now in limbo. Do you have to refund $175 billion?
Think of it, Peter. Very fair question. They take months and months to write an opinion, and they don't even discuss that point. We've taken in hundreds of billions of dollars, not millions, hundreds of billions of dollars. And so I said, well, what happens to all the money that we took in? It wasn't discussed. Wouldn't you think they would have put one sentence in there saying that keep the money or don't keep the money, right? I guess it has to get litigated for the next 2 years. So they write this terrible, defective decision, totally defective. It's almost like not written by smart people. And what they do, they don't even talk about that. Your question is very basic. That was the first question I asked also to make you feel good. I said, what about all the money that we've taken in? Sir, they don't discuss that. How crazy is that?
What you're saying is, are you saying that you don't plan to honor refunds for companies that file for them?
I just told you the answer, right? I told you the answer. It's not discussed. We'll end up being in court for the next 5 years. Go ahead, Green.
Thank you, Mr. President. When you are talking about the relationship with countries that you have sought trade deals with, do you anticipate that they will seek to renegotiate those? What do you say to them? And do you view this as a potential undermining power for your
We're going
negotiations?
straight ahead with 10% straight across the board, which was the absolute right to do. And that's taking place. That's a lot of money coming into our country. And then during that period of about 5 months, we are doing the various investigations necessary to put fair tariffs or tariffs, period, on other countries. So we're doing that period, but we're immediately instituting the 10% provision, which we're allowed to do. And in the end, I think we'll take in more money than we've taken in before.
Mr. President, you've used the tariff revenue to pay for a host of federal policies. You claim that they will pay for them. What happens
Well,
to
like
those
the
things?
farmers, we took care of farmers. You know, the farmers were mistreated by foreign countries very badly, very, very badly. And last week I gave them $12 billion out of tariff money. We intend to, out of tariff money, because just so you understand, we have tariffs. We just have them in a different way. And now they've been confirmed by the Supreme Court of the United States. So there's no longer that question out there about tariffs. And we'll be taking in hundreds of billions of dollars. And countries that have treated us badly will have to pay a price for treating us badly. And countries that have been good to us will be treated very well. We just left the top person in a place called Vietnam, just left my office. Great gentleman, strong and smart. He said, you know, I think this means you're allowed to charge us more tariffs than before. And Canada said to Jameson, I might want to say it, Jameson, but Canada said, I hope you win this decision, because if you don't win, you'll actually be allowed to charge us, with a little additional work, higher tariffs. Jameson, you want to comment on that?
Yes, sir. So, to the President's point, we have a lot of tools out there. We have Section 122, which will be implemented today. It will be signed today and implemented very shortly. We have Section 301 investigations, which are incredibly legally durable, where we can investigate and address unfair trading practices that have led to our huge trade deficit. And so you can look forward in the coming days and weeks to seeing all of that come out, and we're going to keep continuity in the program. We're going to keep addressing this so that the deficit can keep going down. That's the trend it has, and we can make America great again.
No.
Several of Republicans in Congress have supported this decision by the Supreme Court, and Hakeem Jeffries, the Democratic leader, has called you a wannabe king. Why wouldn't
him a low IQ?
But why wouldn't
he doesn't even know? And I watched him the other day interview. The guy doesn't even know what a tariff is.
But there's been bipartisan criticism.
No, not bipartisan.
Of the tariffs.
Excuse me.
There's several
A few
Republicans
people.
have said that.
Yeah,
a few people. Wouldn't you just work with Congress to come up with a plan?
I don't have to.
To push tariffs.
I have the
through?
right to do tariffs, and I've always had the right to do tariffs, and it's all been approved by Congress. So there's no reason to do it. All we're doing is we're going through a little bit more complicated process. Not complicated very much, but a little more complicated than what we had. We'll be able to take in tariffs, more tariffs. And the Congress people and the Congress,
down the Canadian tariffs last week.
Yeah,
There's been votes in the Senate against it.
Yeah, because we lost 2 Republicans or 3 Republicans because they're not good Republicans. What you don't say, you don't say that we got 215 votes.
You need 218 for something to pass.
Yeah, sure we do. We might have lost 3 votes, and what was the score on the Republican side? 215 to 3, right? But you don't say that. We have great unity. There's great unity in the Republican Party, and I hope everyone's going to vote Republican, because otherwise you won't have a country left, because these people have been destroying, they are destroying our country. Please.
Mr. President, the 122 tariffs, that 10%,
Yeah.
is that going to be for 150 days, or do you want to charge that indefinitely?
We have a right to do pretty much what we want to do, but we're going to charge it starting effectively, I think it's 3 days from now. Yeah, please.
Mr. President, you speak to a lot of factory workers, a lot of manufacturing workers. What does the Supreme Court ruling say? What's that message to those factory workers?
Well, I think the factory workers are happy because we're now telling them that they're going to... Look, the man I met with yesterday who owned a factory was out of business. He was out of business. And now he's employing 5 times. In fact, I walked in, He's got a brand new crane. I said, how old is that crane? We got it in December. He's allowed to write it off in 1 minute. The Great Big Beautiful Act gave no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime. He said this great big beautiful bill, frankly, has been the best thing that's ever happened for the workers much more so than for rich people. The only thing it does for rich people, it allows them to hire a lot more people. But when I saw him, and then he said, it's all up and down the line. This is a place in Georgia, all up and down, other factories doing different, not only steel products, different. He said, every one of us was out of business. We could barely make it. Some of them were down to less than an hour a week. Think of it, 1 hour a week to make just a few little trinkets or whatever they make. Now they're going round the clock. I had it a month ago. I went to Michigan, went to Ford, and I met with Bill Ford, the head of Ford, and we were in one of the biggest plants, an original plant from the early 1900s, where, by the way, I might add this, it's not really relevant, but it's all relevant. Murders are down the lowest since 1900, around the time that he had this plant. That's 125 years. We have the lowest murder rate. Okay. And our crime is way down in the country. The factories that we're talking about, the people that we're talking about, they are so thrilled with Trump. So whether we charge IEEPA tariffs or whether we charge tariffs under a different section, that's what we're going to be doing. There's no way we can lever. This is what happened to our country. This is why we owe $38 trillion, which we'll get rid of in pretty good course. We have a very incompetent Fed chairman who likes high interest rates. For political reasons, he likes them. But we're going to have somebody very good. Interest rates should come down very substantially. I think we should pay the lowest interest rates on the planet. There should be no country, and we don't do that. We're number 38. This is just bad policy for a long period of time. But what's happened is we've made America strong again. We've made America great again. We should pay. As an example, the country of Switzerland, we were getting almost no tariffs from them. We had a $40 billion deficit. And the prime minister called me up. She said, but we are a small country, because I said we're going to raise it to 39% from nothing. That would have rendered them not very successful, as opposed to right now they're considered elite. But if we put a tariff, they would. And I realized then, she said, but sir, we are a small country. I said, you're a small country with a big deficit. For us, you're making a lot of money off the United States. If we do that, a lot of these elite countries, they're elite because we let them make so much money. And I want them to do well. But I don't want them to do well on the backs of the American taxpayers. So I appreciate your question. I think it's a reasonable answer.
President Trump, you said that you were disappointed with that, but were you surprised with this decision? What you felt when you...
I was surprised because I thought that what we did was, number one, according to, I mean, I read the paragraphs. I read very well. Great comprehension. I read everything there is to read, and I said, we can't lose this case. But we can when judges are political, when they want to be politically correct, when they're catering to a group of people in D.C. maybe. I don't know what it is, because when you read it, there's no other interpretation. There is no other interpretation. But it's okay, because what has come out, and I'll say it for the third time and maybe the last time in a while, is that we've taken the uncertainty of tariffs out, because we had uncertainty. We got sued by sleazebags, I know them well, that are very outside country, China-centric, but outside country-centric. And they're going to end up not doing as well as they did before. America was becoming really, really, we're strong again. Hey, we have the strongest military. I rebuilt the military in the first term. We have the most powerful military. We make the best equipment. And even them, you know, we could do much better. We have people that get paid a lot of money to manufacture Patriot missiles and javelins and all the different things. But when you want them, they're too slow. And we put them on notice, and they're going to make, our country is building a lot of things right now, and our country is doing really well. And we're going to keep it that way. The bottom line is that the word certainty is now in the equation. Every single thing I said today is guaranteed certainty. It's been tested, as Jameson said 1,000 times. Literally, I said hundreds of times. He said, sir, actually thousands of times, and won in all of the courts. And we're just going back to that. And the problem is that we had other presidents that weren't into trade. Maybe they weren't business oriented. Maybe they weren't smart. We had some dummies too, you know. I respectfully say we had some real dummies. So we are going to keep it going just as before, probably more so. But you're no longer going to be asked. Every time I got up, you'd ask, well, what happens if you can't charge tariffs? Now we can. And by the way, in their decision, they specifically said we can do these. We have alternatives. Yeah.
David, on the trade deals that were negotiated using IEEPA tariffs, do those stand now, or are they have to be redone?
Well, some of them stand. Many of them stand. Some of them won't, and they'll be replaced with the other tariffs.
Mr. President, on the Supreme Court justices who ruled against this the policy, striking it down, are they still invited to your State of the Union next week? And will you speak with them?
They are invited, barely. Barely. 3 are happily invited. No, they're barely invited. Honestly, I couldn't care less if they come. Okay.
Mr. President.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President. On the trade deal, which is the framework, which is to be signed with India sometime soon, will that stand now? And on the decision,
changes.
Nothing changes.
No, nothing changes. They'll be paying tariffs, and we will not be paying tariffs. Our deal with India is they pay tariffs. This is a reversal from what it used to be, as you know. India, and I think Prime Minister Modi is a great gentleman, a great man, actually, but he was much smarter than the people that he was against in terms of the United States. He was ripping us off in India. So we made a deal with India, and it's a fair deal now, and we are not paying tariffs to them, and they are paying tariffs. We did a little flip.
Are up as of now for this.
The India deal is on here.
Thank you so much, Mr. President.
All the deals are on it. We're just going to do it a different way.
Mr. President. Thank you so much, Mr. President. I think there is another war that you stopped and you should take the credit, which is in Syria. Secretary Rubio, after his meeting in Munich with the Syrian Foreign Minister and the Kurdish General Muslim Abdi, he said that President Trump was directly involved in efforts to stop the fighting between the Kurds and the Syrians. How will your administration make sure that this peace is sustained? And do you support the idea?
Well, it's a very different topic, and so I don't want to spend a lot of time. But all I can say is that the president of Syria, who I essentially put there, is doing a phenomenal job. He's a rough guy. He's not a choir boy. A choir boy couldn't do it. But Syria is coming together, really coming together well. And thus far, he's been very good to the Kurds. Yeah.
Thank you. Mr. President, what's your message to the Iranian people after 2 rounds of talks with them? Do you have any message to the Iranian people?
The Iranian people in Iran or people here?
People in Iran.
They better negotiate a fair deal. You know, the people of Iran are a lot different than the leaders of Iran. And it's very, very sad situation. But 32,000 people were killed over a relatively short period of time. They were going to hang 800, 2 weeks ago, hang, some by crane. They lift them up with a tall crane, and they play them around the square. They were going to hang 837 people. And I gave them the word, if you hang one person, even one person, that you're going to be hit right then and there. I wasn't waiting 2 weeks and negotiating. And they gave up the hanging. They didn't hang 837. Supposedly, they didn't hang anybody. But no, I feel very badly for the people of Iran. They've lived in hell. Please.
Thank you, Mr. President, you mentioned multiple times foreign influence over the Supreme Court. Do you have evidence of that? And if not, will you investigate that?
You're going to find out.
What alternatives are you going to put into place in your relationship with Europe, and also those tariffs that have been called illegal? How they're going to go impact the relationship with Russia, that you sanction
Well,
some
I want
countries?
Europe to strengthen up. Europe has gone woke. Europe is not recognizable when you go into so many places. Not all countries. You look at Hungary. You look at Poland, Czech, Slovakia. There are some countries that have gone very much the opposite, some really, and some others. But Europe has to be strong, and they've become soft and not recognizable. You go into some of the countries, I don't want to be specific, but I think everyone knows what I'm talking about, and they're not recognizable. They become, the environmentalists have taken over. They've got windmills destroying their fields and their beautiful meadows and their oceans, and they're paying a fortune. Now, Europe has to get smart. Europe's getting killed on two things, energy and immigration. And if they don't solve both of them fast, Europe is not the same place. Yeah, please.
Justices Gorsuch and Barrett, are you surprised in particular by their decision today? And do you regret nominating them?
I don't want to say whether or not I regret. I think their decision was terrible. Yeah. I think it's an embarrassment to their families. You want to know the truth? The two of them. Yeah.
Specifically on that $2,000 tariff check.
Mr. President,
I didn't call you.
You didn't call me?
Yeah, Mr. President, to be clear, do you believe at the end of implementing these new tariff tools, the tariff rate and tariffs will ultimately be higher than they currently are?
Potentially higher. How much higher? It depends, whatever we want them to be. But we want them to be fair for other countries. And, you know, we have some countries that have treated us really badly for years, and it's going to be high for them. And we have other countries that have been very good, and it's going to be very reasonable for them. Yeah.
So specifically on the tariffs question, I mean on the $2,000.
I didn't call you.
Mr. President, thank you, Mr. President. Do you have any plans to travel to India for the Quad Summit, and how do you think your relationship with India is right now?
I think my relationship with India is fantastic, and we're doing trade with India. India pulled out of Russia. You know, India was getting its oil from Russia, right? And they pull way back at my request because we want to settle that horrible war where 25,000 people are dying every month. And my relationship with Prime Minister Modi is, I would say, great. I also stopped a war between India and Pakistan, as you know. There were 10 planes we shot down. That war was going, and probably going nuclear. And just yesterday, the Prime Minister of Pakistan said President Trump saved 35 million lives by getting them to stop. That's and I did it largely with tariffs. I said, look, you're going to fight, that's fine, but you're not going to do business with the United States, and you're going to pay a 200% tariff, each country. And they called up and they said, we have made peace. Okay? I just want to thank you all. Look, great certainty has been brought back to the economy of the United States, and actually the economy of the world, because we generate so much in the world. We're the biggest in the world, and we're now the strongest by far. We were a country that was dead 1.5 years ago. Now we have the hottest country in the world. We're going to keep it that way. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Did you say 32,000 were killed in Iran, sir?
Oh. Thank you for your attention to this matter. I love it.
I had my mic muted. I was hollering at you guys. I did the double mute just to be backed up here. Dang it! Thank you guys. So that was fun. Thank you.
Yeah. That was very interesting. Very interesting information for sure. So, what do you say we dig into some of the digging that we've been doing in Diggers, and let's learn a little bit more about what the boss was educating us on as far as tariffs are concerned, and what he always had up his sleeve. I mean, he's been working around them since day one. Of course, we're doing the same thing here on Qschqql and all the other platforms around the world, all the other anons, working around the fake news media. And if you guys don't mind, give Johnny Come Lately a little love, and he seems to be down on his luck a little bit today.
You got hit by the black pillars, man. Got black pilled up. We gotta get triggered sometimes, man. We gotta get triggered to settle down our different
emotions. It's gonna be good, Johnny. Just hang in there a little longer, brother. It's all coming through.
Well, that was the spiritual message came around too, like water to get like sediment out. You gotta stir it up, like you got mud in your water. You gotta stir it up to filter it out. That's kind of what we're going through right now on a collective level, emotionally, physically, but also collectively, politically, globally. So it's all getting stirred up. If you're confused, everybody else is confused. So have compassion for others, though. And if you're confused, the enemy's confused, though, too. And that's also can be a good thing as well. And you got to trust the plan, because only God's plan could have mapped out something like this. So that's where we have that comfort in knowing that we got to be humble enough that we don't know. And it's going to be better than we could ever imagine. That's why we don't know, and it's just going to. This is the storm. We've been in the storm a long time now, honestly. We're well in that storm. And we're wading through the waters nicely, but it doesn't mean it looks pretty all the time. That's why we always have each other's backs, and that's why we've got this community to build on. And when one falls, another steps up. So sometimes you gotta just step away. You gotta turn the TV off. Gotta turn your phone off. Get out in nature. That's like the best medicine for this movement. Crazy, because honestly, because it's a marathon, not a sprint. So just be mindful of that. But yeah, give him some love. Johnny's got some great comments all the time out there too. Let's pick our boy up over there. Thank you, guys.
Exactly. Love. Yeah, for sure. So what I'm really, here's the thing I really love about our Qschqql, and even today's a great example that is like, we're always learning, right? Learning something new. And like I don't know about you guys, but I just learned a whole bunch of new things that I never knew before. And not that it's Intel's fault, because a lot of the stuff that Trump's talking about are not in the Q drops. Although he did smack a Q drop, if you go to Qegg and type in tariff and Ford, because he brought up Ford, it hits one of the 2 tariff Q drops. So that might be a coincidence. I'm not sure, but you can show everybody on the screen.
Let's do a pause.
It brings China.
Sorry, keep going, brother. I stepped on you.
No, I was just saying, if you don't mind bringing up Qegg for a second, and then we'll go to the Diggers board, and let's read what he posted too, and then what Melzie dropped too. So,
okay. Well, I just want to go back to that. We're gonna go a little Q-tard on everyone for us. Is that you just mentioned it like a breeze? How do you say it? You just did the and search thing, and we've talked about that, but a lot of people don't use that. So expand further, make the connection. Map currently has 43 confirmed connections. So we know there's 51 confirmed Q drops, 17 connection Q drops. So I believe there's 51 drops that have 17 on there. But then Tim was saying that. I'm like, let's try these two together to see if there's any Q drops. Since there's 51 with confirmed, do any of them have connection in it? How would I search that? So let's do it with these ones. I'm just going to put it cap just so you guys can see, but the caps doesn't matter on searching. Confirmed and was it connections? See if they cross any. Oh, there's one. Oh, it'd be just this one. Okay, so there's the one connect, but that's a connection that there's just one, and there's 51, 17. But now, Tim, what was the 2 words you searched?
Tariff and Ford.
The double and, right? So.
Yep.
So this means on Qagg, guys, QAGG.news, is Tim was looking for a Q drop with tariff and the word Ford in it for whatever reason. This is what he's searching here. So we're going to go to this. And we get one Q drop, 11/20, April 10th. That's 4/10. That's 2 years before 4/10/20. The date. That's kind of interesting. What do you got for us on this one? You doing this one, Tim?
Yeah, well, I'm just saying that, it somehow coincides with a little bit of what Trump's been talking about. You talk about he was talking about the auto industry, he talked about China, he talked about steel, and he's been talking about tariffs, and he brings old man Ford into it. And then that's when he talked about there hasn't been the murder.
Gosh, and Ford is start.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Look at that. Nice, Tim, because Ford is the car company too, right? And he mentions that our jobs went away. I'm going to try to zoom this the best I can. It's gonna be one without so you want, and look at this the letters going up is really standing out to me, guys. Let's get the anons on this like we used to do, Tim. So check this out, all the letters. We had an anon when we were doing the MG show, so would always do the first letter of this line and then this one and this line, even if there was a bunch of words, and always found like a corporation or financial ties and with the 3 letters. But this one, I feel like all these caps really stand out, that they might be some sort of anagram or something. So CCT, DX, CTC, again, AMF, US, and then if we had the Q in there, that's interesting.
Article provides foundation.
Let's have some fun with this. Let's read it backwards, and I'm gonna start from the bottom and go down, and maybe Mel or Tim read it on the other way. So I'm gonna go upside down. It's like Q drop 11/20. April 10th, 4/10/18 though. 18 is R. 1:15 on the timestamp. 56. There's a 5-5 in there, and we were just talking about Susan Calloway, Mag 5 on Rumble, got 15 of these 17 drops every day, and I think we're 15 away from 51, if it's 51. We're at 36, so I hope you guys still searching out there. All right, so let's go from bottom to top, though. Q start, U.S. Ford, major import, article provide foundation, cars, Tuesday, China, confirm tariff reduction, Xi or XI, which is also 11, demand, Tuesday, Guangxing, and clarify. So a little cryptic, but there's looks like a lot of comms in there. If you guys see anything, and then maybe
I think it's 4/10/22 if you do 4, not 20.
oh 2 plus 18, huh? That's his. Which means something else.
So no, I thought so. Add 8 is 9, and then 11, and if you added the 11, 1, 1, that'd be 2. So then you have 4/10.
Yeah.
No, 2.
Interesting.
So yeah.
Anyways, there it is. A confirmed tariff reduction, but he's actually gonna think mirror. We're gonna increase it if we need to.
So I was thinking about the international economic emergency economic. What is it? The last part.
What on the
okay, act? Okay, emergency economic.
Are you looking at
International Emergency Economic Powers Act, right? Would that be possibly the articles he's talking about? That there were articles within that code?
Oh.
And then, like NAFTA was a big trade deal that Clinton had set up that really took all of the factory jobs away and brought them into places like Mexico. And so that was, a part of economic like warfare, I think. Or instability, or maybe that is included in this this powers that Trump just put into place.
Yeah, so let's read some of that stuff in Diggers. We might be able to make some more connections, connect more dots here based on that too. And I agree with you, Melzie. But maybe we should start with the 2 Trump truths. He put those out while we were rewatching the press conference from just a little while ago. Let's
2 truths. Okay.
Yeah, they're long, so it's a little bit of reading for you, Kyle. But
all right. I just want to show this real quick too in real time. Some things you guys can do on searches and stuff. So I was looking for a couple different things because I just decided in my head we're gonna play that Trump speech, the 5-minute speech, where he talks about all the things that'll get him elected. That's what it was all about. But so I was gonna search for it on my own, guys. So I was the phrase I know would work would be only a matter of time. But in my searching process, sometimes you can do less words or more and like work up to do different things, especially since we're searching for the 17. Really interesting. It's right on the spot. I was going to do only a matter, but I'm like, let's try only. So it came out 189, which is interesting because 8, 9, 17. So 117. So then I just went to the next one. I said only a. I was almost like, no, I'll do only a matter. I'm like, no, just do the only a. Just try it first and check it out. Can you believe that? Found another one on the spot. We got 37 on the board. Put on the board. We have to make a reel. Like, we got the next one on there. Only 8. We're maybe 14 away. Maybe we're 6 away. Which one is it? Oh, let's go. It's gonna be fun. Then we got all the other ones too, like 45 and stuff. So, anyways, that's for the video. Where would you want me to go, Tim?
The Trump truths on the wall there.
All right.
They're long. They're the long. No, go above. You got to go a little higher, and then we'll read what Melzie posted. Those ones, yeah. Start with the top one, and then into the second one, yeah. Okay. I don't know if you make it big enough. Yeah, there you go.
So Trump posted this just even after his speech.
Yeah, look at the time. Is there a timestamp on it? Is there a timestamp?
Maybe during the show here, 1:37. Is that Eastern time, or whose graphic is this?
That would be Eastern, yeah. From Carly's channel. She's New York.
So probably before, or did they put out during his speech? Can we get some confirmations on that, guys?
Right after his speech.
Yeah, and so I saw too, I think it's Fox had like some kind of emergency thing that came up. And it was the timestamp one was 1:42, I think, on here.
Oh, 1:40 Eastern right there. Okay. I got it up on the screen, don't I?
Yep, 1:40. So right after Trump put that up, it's interesting. They have a technology. What's
Speaking of that, also too is we found too that Department of War page, the CTO. I think it's DOW, Department of War, and then CTO, Chief Technology Officer equals 217. But everybody's talking about that Lex Wexner deposition. Of course, the guy speaks in his ear. Even General Flynn shared that. I mean, he says, "Don't effing answer this." He's talking about Rothschilds and Google execs and Epstein, and then. But he said he spoke with, or at least he was saying Jeffrey Epstein's people was telling him that they spoke with the Chief Technology Officer of Google. So another shout out there too to 217 time Qschqql start time. I didn't think they were done this much before we started, but I guess they were. So there, that graphic came up pretty interesting. And then of course we have the overlay graphic too. I love that. So some people thought it was the actual because it was when Trump was talking after the Venezuela thing. I put this up there and somebody said first. I thought that was there. So anyways, I played at the perfect time because he was answering about Iran, and it'll be pretty funny to watch on the replay.
But I think that's when they did it, is when Trump was trying to take questions, is when they went to emergency.
Oh, wow. Okay. And there is some weird volume with that stuff. So I'm actually just going to pop on over to the True Social. I think it'll be easier to see. Looks like you just put another one up in an hour. Looks like AI at the White House. Not sure what that's about. You can zoom it too. Oh.
That'll be the new. That's the new building.
Oh,
the new
that's the 109 Anon ballroom that we're going to.
Ballroom. Yeah, they're fast tracking the ballroom apparently. Yeah.
Ooh, fast track. Guess the plan is sped up on time. I don't know. You guys hopefully been also paying attention to what we're doing, not digging too much. Does anybody get a chance? Any ideas on that Q drop where it says something about him picking a woman spying 17 Q drops?
Hang on a second here. Count those pillars. Count those pillars. What's going on here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Do I see 17? 16. Okay.
I don't know because it's almost like 4 on one end.
Yeah.
It's kind of
it's
kind of like an optical illusion.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And it's
Okay.
like 2 kind of trippy. What to see? 109 seats for the ballroom.
Meg says spying is 17 drops.
Just saw it, and we didn't have that. We have seeing, but spying is one. Also, I feel like I found that one a long time ago before we were counting the numbers. So awesome! I got to write that one
Add it
down.
to the list. Thank you.
Only
Thank you, Meg.
only A in spying. So if my numbers are right, 38. Q drop 38. Calm before the storm. It's getting close, kids. Okay, here we go. Let's see. The timestamp on this one is. What do we do here? Oh, he linked them doubles. The doubles. 10:38. Yeah, so 1:38 p.m. Eastern time. And there's the 38 again in there. Oh shit, this is getting exciting. All right, here we go. That's the second one. And some water here. This is where Matthew loves it. That's right, buddy. That's right. We're taking them down.
Let's learn. What are we learning from the boss? Let's keep learning.
All right, let me get some H2O here. High quality H2O.
Cheers. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, Qschqql family. Love, love, love. Make sure y'all hit like if you haven't already. Make some comments. Send the live out too. That always helps. Especially friends, maybe like-minded or waking up. Send them the live. That's where we find our people, and we're trying to help spread the message. But that's
and thank you for the
authentic.
remix.
And thank you all. Amazing,
Oh,
amazing
my
stuff.
goodness.
Susan Calloway.
Yes.
She's over on Facebook and Instagram. Brittany Stover, General
Brilliant.
Apex.
Yes.
You guys are doing
Like
such amazing
rocket.
work, and it's so cool. And so it's such an honor
Thank
that you
you.
guys make stuff for us on your own time, and I
Yes.
just love being part of it. And can't wait to even, all put our minds together. Of course, be in person. That's coming down the pipe too. So getting super exciting. So love, love, love you guys. Thanks for igniting our fire again, getting us back going. It's exciting. Okay, so here's DJT. Supreme Court's ruling on tariffs, all caps here. Ooh, and we'll show that thing on QAG. Mr. Smith taught us how it cancels out the capital letters on the True Social. Hopefully I remember how to do that. Okay, Supreme Court's ruling on tariffs is deeply disappointing. I'm ashamed of certain members of court for not having the courage to do what is right for our country. I would like to thank and congratulate Justices Thomas, Alito, and Kavanaugh for your strength, wisdom, and love of our country, which is right now very proud of you. When you read the dissenting opinions, there is no way that anyone can argue against them. He said that twice in the live, and now he's saying it in written form. This again, that's that key words that he wants people to know. And he made an allusion to that during the speech. He said most people, they read a dissenting opinion. And he's like, and it's just being honest. He's like, yeah, you could go either way. But he's saying you read this dissenting opinion, which we all should. Like Tim said for years too, we're supposed to read the executive orders. So we'll read this dissenting opinion from Kavanaugh. And it basically says it's a slam door case in his opinion of the argument. All right. So Alito, Kavanaugh, your strength, wisdom, love of the country. Very proud of you. When you read the dissenting opinions, there's no way that anyone can argue against them. That's weird. It's almost like I did the same thing to you guys. Foreign countries that have been ripping us off for years are ecstatic and dancing in the streets. This is part of his transcript, but they won't be dancing for long. Maybe this is part of his transcript. If y'all out there with the AI, autists, get the actual transcript from his speech right there, and then check with the transcript of this True Social and see if they're different, because this is part of his transcript right here. Okay, that's autist special. Those Democrats on the court are thrilled, but they will automatically vote no against anything that makes America strong and healthy again. He said that is those exact things. They also are a disgrace to our nation, and they are. Let's get some memes about that. Like, just say Democrat like that. That's their party. Make them party slogans like that's what they would vote for their voters. Democrats, the disgrace to our nation, the disgrace to America, or the skid stain of America, you know what I mean? Or Democrats, we hate America. You know what I mean? Like, that's what the fuck do they stand for? There's that I got a good meme too. It's the one that shows Republicans, all the things they stand for. Democrats hate Trump. That's a good meme too. I wish I had that one to fire for you guys. Okay, I'm getting off to autistal. Here we go. They also are a disgrace to our nation. That's the Democrats, the Deep Party, rhinos. Anybody that doesn't serve the people is a disgrace to our nation. Anybody that doesn't actually serve justice is a disgrace to our nation. Any doctors out there that actually took an oath, but really they took their oath to being a hypocrite and aren't actually serving the people, they're just prescribing drugs and keeping sick and in need, you're a disgrace to our nation, and we're done with you people.
Is that why they call it the Hippocratic Oath? Because they're hypocrites?
That's what I think it is. I'm going to do it.
Just saying.
Oh, I've been getting ready to light them up for a minute, so it's coming. Just want to make sure, do this thing properly. Okay, others think they're being politically correct, which has happened before far too often with certain members of this court, when in fact they're just fools and lapdogs for the rhinos and radical-ass Democrats. And not that this should have anything to do with it. Very unpatriotic and disloyal to the Constitution. Tim, how many Constitution Q drop?
That would be 51, matching Q drop 51, which is One Nation Under God. Just I'm going to keep throwing that out there.
Susan got another one. One Nation Under God. Yes, we're going to do Q drop 51 in here. And I'm also going to do a Q drop just to do Supreme Court, because you had me look that up. And RBG. This would be a great example after this. Okay, it is my opinion the court has been swayed by foreign interests. This is the commander-in-chief of the United States of America is telling us he thinks the Supreme Court, the highest court in the United States of America, has been swayed by foreign interests. What statutes or provisions does that provide the commander-in-chief to save the republic? Well, he did tweet that he who saves his country breaks no laws. That's a bit on the edge there, but essentially it kind of says that, all right? And a political movement, this is the key part though, he wouldn't do this and he couldn't be able to if he didn't have the people behind him. Okay, he has the will of the people behind him. That's why he's able to righteously move forward in these steps. Otherwise, it never would be. The plan would never work if the majority of people were not behind the movement, period. It just wouldn't work on a frequency level. Okay, we're all behind it. Let's go. And again, as he mentions many times, they're far smaller people than you'd think, but obnoxious, ignorant, and loud. I heard a great analogy is when a people in a party that you believe in something, as you lose more and more people, those voices have to get louder and louder and scream out because they're fading away. And that's what we're seeing with the Democrat Party. It's the end of the D Party. So they're kicking and screaming, and the rhinos too. No, everybody's done with the bullshit two-party system. Fuck all that shit. We say Republican, but really we want patriotic Americans first. I'll vote for a Democrat if you're really going to put America first and you're fucking not on this crazy TDS shit. You know what I mean? If you're a legit human being and you're still liberal and you don't have TDS, I'll vote for you. I'll say that out openly. You know what I mean? That's how it should be if we're reasonable. But the two-party system is going down the drain. All right. This was an important case to me. more as a symbol of economic and national security. There to go, national security. And that's maybe if we have the articles up, if we don't get too long-winded on this, that Mel was saying is it's in the articles. Like if there's an economic attack against the United States, they can do anything. He even said that we can embargo a country. They tried to shut him down and basically gave him granted access to make him a freaking what do you say? Dictator. You know what I mean? He could actually like cut off a country from a trade, and it would ruin that country. The United States props up majority of the countries in this, like in the world, as crazy as that may sound. That's not a conceited thing. That's real. Like there survives. If America was gone, all these other places would fall, and he could do that. Anyways, but he won't, obviously. But we can threaten to. Okay. Anyways, this was an important case to me, more of a symbol of economic and national security than anything else. The good news is that there are methods, practices, statutes, and other authorities, that's an interesting word to use, as recognized by the entire court and Congress that are even stronger than the IEEPA tariffs. Somebody give me the gematria on that one. IEEPA and tariffs. I can't remember what tariffs were. Available to me as President of the United States of America. In actuality, I was very modest in my ask of other countries and businesses because I wanted to do nothing that could sway the decision that has been rendered by the court. That's a weird ending there. Go ahead.
Yeah, so, if there is foreign interference in here, and he was talking about how there are some elite countries that are smaller that could really be impacted by this because, for whatever reason. So I'm thinking that this is going to be kind of smoking them out, the foreign interference maybe, because this is going to hurt those maybe countries that had set up maybe trade deals that were beneficial to them and not to the United States, right? And so this really could be a better move for the United States to cut off these deals that were really unfair to us, kind of on a global scale, because it really is a global enemy, right?
And the globalism it's against nationalism, specifically America and our interests. And that's why all these leaders are selected people from all the different countries, never represented their own countries, but really they were working together to sell America out. And like Trump says that President Xi, he's going to look after his people in China. That's what he should do. And he understands that. And when you have that understanding, then we work together. But this globalism was always designed to kill the United States. So that's why he cut off NATO. He said, fuck you. We're not doing that shit no more. And this is the same exact thing. And U.S. aid, I mean, we've been...
Remember that book that Obama was carrying around?
Yeah, that postmodern American world.
Mm-hmm. That's, what they wanted. And so Trump is really taking that down, I think, with these with this kind of, what is it, the world trade, embargo or whatever he's putting on.
Plus the board of peace to combat against the United Nations. I mean, that's head to head, two different organizations.
And then they're really both kicking and screaming on this too, because he could literally end their countries with an embargo if they wanted to do this kind of threat thing. And this is where they're going to capitulate. Fully. And this is why they're going to kick and scream. You're going to see the fake news spin at it. You're going to maybe see some false flags, guys. This is such a big deal, because this is literally, we didn't have to do taxes. We didn't have to do nothing before the Federal Reserve came and destroyed this whole, beautiful system.
And you could see that kind of in the press conference too, because normally they would try to be spinning off another thing, trying to understand, let's talk about the Epstein, or let's talk about this, so they really, none of that happened. They were really trying to poke at, to try and figure out what was going on. And CNN, I'm not talking to you. I don't talk to CNN.
That was powerful.
Wow. That was a really I can't imagine being in that room, because you could feel everyone kind of spinning, like they normally have scripted
scripted questions.
Well, the neat thing about it too, Melzie, is this morning they thought they got him. They caught him. They finally got him, and then he comes back and does
I know, that's the best part about it, dude. And that's the art of war, kids. Act strong when you're weak, and weak when you're strong. And you think he's not prepared on this kind of shit. And that was really cool and just even he's done that repeatedly. Like, yeah, I wish maybe we could just work together, make some good videos of that, because the Iran thing, they literally thought he was going to announce a war, and he didn't do it. This was a while back. I know we're coming to Iran again. These keep circling around. It'll be the same thing. He's not going to have to declare war, which I guess we haven't declared war since World War II, something stupid like that, which is absurd in itself. But
because he's a peacemaker.
He is.
So I think we have to recognize peace through strength means that sometimes he's going to use strength in order to accomplish peace, right? Before they would use strength in order to, they would just create war. What does war do? It doesn't. It just kills people. Just like I saw a picture of I think it was in the Gaza Strip, and it was like Ramadan, like years before, and then now, and there's one. It doesn't exist anymore, and so that's what war does. And so if he had been in office, that might not have happened. So it's such an interesting time to be in, and to see like what that really means, to be a peacemaker.
Yeah. And the other thing too that like really floored me today was, I mean, the boomerang is the big one today, but the learning process of this, because this morning my reaction as an anon was, okay, that's it, man. We have to demolish the Supreme Court. It's just too far gone. And then he comes on a little bit later on and does the press conference and basically put me at ease and made me question how I originally thought, which is basically like, okay, that's it. I mean, if the Supreme Court's not on our side, then the whole thing's finished. But he's working around them, and he's using the laws of the land to do so against the Supreme Court, which to me is freaking amazing. And I'm glad that we're having this conversation and that we're going through all the things that he had taught us today. And then we got a couple other things in Diggers that we're going to read for you guys. But this is the learning process, so that we will, this falls right into that category, Kyle and Melzie, where it says, sometimes you can't tell the people the truth, you must show them. And this is, we're being shown right today, this is a time in history where a lot of us really didn't understand the tariffs, the full extension of the tariffs, how powerful they are, how important they are to national security, and how the Trump administration and the White Hats are doing the right things according to the law of the land, where certain sections of the Supreme Court is now publicly being shown to the people that they are corrupted. It's freaking incredible.
Yes, it's beautiful. And then and he alluded to that too. And this is a wonderful thing to watch too, because he's doing things nobody ever saw. And this is a great example of people's ego or their arrogance. And again, also the narrative. And I don't know, I guess I got family members and stuff that pay attention in circles on the social medias, and some that claim to be these intellectuals, but they're just captured by the narrative or whatever. And that was a big one, is everyone said the tariffs were a bad thing. And like Tim's always said, with the media and everybody's saying one thing, think mirror. So you got to not only include the media, but your mainstream. This is your mainstream scientists, your mainstream academia. Matthew Q, Batman, and Daddy and boy, let's go. Justice coming, baby. Let's go. We're going to celebrate our asses off. We are celebrating our asses off. Justice is here. Where was I going with this? What were we talking about?
Oh, for to start. I know that's not what we're talking about.
Well, autists will save the world, baby. Autists will save the world.
It's just a great learning lesson. Go ahead, Melzie.
That he brought in Ford, right? And then tariffs, because what is the coincidence of him bringing up Ford and tariffs in a speech like this?
Yes, and that's in the Q drop.
So
how did we get to that drop, Tim? Sorry, Mel.
Well, I just looked up tariff.
Oh, tariff.
I remember I read the two tariff Q drops prior to, and I remember Ford was in that. And then when he brought up Ford in the Q&A, when he brought up old man Ford back in the 1900s, I'm going, oh my God, that just smacked the Q drop, tariffs and Ford.
And think how the Ford, the auto industry, right? Ford was probably greatly impacted by NAFTA. So him bringing up Ford and talking about it, having, I think he said a meeting with them. Did he say that?
Maybe said that.
Yeah. anyways, I thought that was pretty significant to
Yeah, so that was what I was alluding to. We include academia and stuff because he made a nod to that. That's actually another Q drop. He said 22. I didn't catch that the first time. There's a Q drop that says one of 22. He said 22 scholars, economic scholars, said that the tariffs would fail, the economy would be bad. He's demonstrating that academia has lost credibility as well. Okay, fake news has lost credibility. Academia has lost credibility. Science. What's that? Justice, unfortunately, that's our Department of Justice.
Banking.
Banking.
And
so when this comes out,
hospitals.
Look like he's just going in and making and being a dictator and putting it. He went around. He's doing it by the law, doing it legally, right? And it's also, I think, going to expose because he again brought up that there was foreign interference, and so when that does come out, he doesn't look like he was the one that just went and made his own decision and bypassed him and did his own will, and that'll be really important, I think.
Yeah, and another big thing too. He said this is the decision's final, and he actually said that when he hadn't hit him with it yet, that he was going to throw the rope-a-dope. He's like, well, it doesn't matter now. The decision's final. And then he goes, but it basically lets me do whatever I want. So that's wild because it's at the highest level, and he can basically do this thing that's in a different way. It will grant it now constitutional from the Supreme Court that he can do it. And now, so I mean, these other guys, they're really freaked out. They got nowhere to freaking go.
They don't. No, I mean, it was an ultimate trap. And trap, apparently there's 17. I don't know if trap's on your list, but I saw that earlier. Somebody, Meg, found another one, trap, for your list. 17
trap?
Trap. Yeah. And then there was another one prior to that, type.
I think I had trap. Yeah, I got type on that one too. Trap. Mag 5's she's going wild again. Look at her.
Type and spine.
Because there's trap card and trump card, and gematria is interesting too because one anon says trap card, and then there's a trump card and there's a trap card. Anybody knows that? There's a little dig for some of y'all. What's that? Oh, Aaron talking about. Give me
type.
Is it on top? Type? On top? Yeah, type. I got type. Yeah, trap, spine. I got only space A, only A 17. So we've added 4 more today. So we're at 40. We might see if it's 43 or not, Tim. By the end of the day, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. Okay, let me show something.
Don't forget to read that second truth. Truth
and actually, I actually didn't even finish the one either. So let me keep going. I didn't realize there was more to go. So this last sentence was odd anyways. So I know I was kind of going autist on it, but let's go. Let me try this last one more time. Look how long this sentence is. It is grammatically correct, but that entire thing is one sentence. And Trump does that a lot, and it's grammatically correct, but it is a bit like that autist mind that's running around. Yeah.
No, seriously.
Yeah. Interesting. So I'll do it. The good news is that there are methods, practices, statutes, and other authorities. Again, that words really stand out to me because he capitalized these other things, statutes, authorities. I will show you guys the shortcut on QAG, how to do the capital letters on True Social. Just somebody please remind me. Okay, authorities as recognized by the entire court and Congress that are even stronger than the IEEPA tariffs veiled to me as President of the United States of America. And in actuality, I was very modest in my ask of other countries and businesses. Here's the weird part, because I wanted to do nothing that could sway the decision that has been rendered by the court. Wow. So, he was kind of saying he played it safe to not affect the court, which is like him saying he's neutral. That kind of goes to the Q drop. And then there's the Q drops too that kind of do the double negative sometimes. It reminds me of that a little bit. It's an odd statement. I just gonna notice that.
Okay, so another thing he just mentioned is he said they didn't even ask about the billions, right? They didn't even talk about it because it would be tied up for years because they think they were going to win. You see?
I got you.
And Trump is like, I'm not even going to go push or pressure that because it would be tied up for years if we tried to combat that. I'm going to leave their decision and go around, and we've got another way.
Another way. And there's a beautiful way of saying that. Yeah, thank you. I got to put a comment on your face because it's from Kat. I love you, Kat. Good to see you. Love you all. Thank you, Kat. Love. Of course, Aaron's in here doing some digging. Okay, check this out. Here's the rest of the True Social. I have very effectively utilized tariffs over the past year to make America great again. Our stock market has just recently broke 50,000 mark on the Dow, simultaneously 7,000 S&P. 2 numbers everybody thought upon our landslide election victory could not be attained until the very end of my administration. 4 years. Tariffs have likewise been used to end 5 of the 8 wars that I settled, have given us great national security, and together with our strong border, reduce fentanyl, I mentioned that earlier, coming into our country by 30%. How many lives did that save? Think about that too. It's literally going against the president having the opportunity to save American lives. That's how crazy this is, right? But he worked around them. When I use them as a penalty against countries illegally sending this poison to us, all of those tariffs remain, but other alternatives will now be used to replace the ones that the court incorrectly rejected. Now here comes part 2. I'm gonna get some more water. I want to see if the timestamp's the same or if it comes out later. Looks like it's the same timestamp. I've never seen a post like this.
Can you just go up a little second? You know, like that was really, I just want to see what he said so I can summarize it.
It was the last part.
Yeah. Okay. So, you know, this is the economic part. Is he's saying like the national security is where they were using tariffs for national security, basically to end wars, right? Yeah. So that affects our national security, removing that.
Yes. She's on fire. MelzieKaye on fire. That's a big mark there. Like I was saying, and again, it's now going against our opportunity to save American lives by preventing drugs, bio warfare against our country. And on the other one, then there is, I missed it where you said it, Mel.
So when he ended wars.
Ended the wars. Yeah. He's ended wars with tariffs.
Stronger
that's
border.
Directly national security.
So a stronger border is, of course, you know, if we have Article 4, Section 4, right? And reducing the fentanyl, which was what would be, you know, that was more than just
that's considered biological warfare from China.
Yes.
Yeah, that's that. Now it's literally a biological warfare, guy, because fentanyl is so deadly and stuff. Again, you could just touch it and die from it. You can put it in other things. It's really, it's a great medical thing and it's used properly, but it's a dangerous MFer. And China has kind of the monopoly on the chemical that makes it. In fact, that's why Mexico couldn't directly import it. They'd have to get the chemical from China. So that's a big deal too. The people that broker that shit, right? That's why the tariffs are so big at stopping the fentanyl, because they need this specific chemical that make it. Okay, so here's part 2 though. To show you how ridiculous the opinion is, the court said that I'm not allowed to charge even $1. Again, sounds just like his speech here, so I'll keep going. To any country other than under this, you can see what that word is. Oh no, what did I do? I didn't want to say it. Okay, now it brought me to the main thing. Here we go. I guess we didn't like that color. I kind of like that color. It's Tiffany blue. I assume to protect other countries, not the United States, which they should be interested in protecting. Okay, so it's saying the court is basically working against the United States of America, which it should be. It should have its interest in protecting. But I am allowed to cut off any and all trade or business with that same country.
Okay. So he's saying, like you just said, that they should be protecting the citizens of the United States, right?
And they're failing to do so.
Failing to do so. Would that be treason?
I mean, in a way, it's like, and that's why I think military is the only way, right? Because if all the 3-letter agencies are no longer, doing the law, DOJ is not prosecuting, whatever you want to call it. The FBI is not doing what they're supposed to do. All the 3-letter agencies, and then even the Supreme Court, and then Congress is acting against the United States of America. Then there's this clause. It seems to be that the military has to step in to save the republic. Least, is that a new one? Susan County, is that one more? Least, that's I gotta see if it must be, so the way she wrote it. 17. Holy cow, she's on fire. Gonna write that one down. I think we should read that other tariff key drop too. I think it's really relevant right now. But let me finish. Help me remember to finish Trump's this post here. Okay, so I'm gonna start at the top again. Try not to go so off the rails. To show how ridiculous the opinion is, the court, this is the Supreme Court, said that I'm not allowed to charge even $1 to any country under the IEEPA. That's basically like the tariffs thing. I assume to protect other countries, not the United States, which they should be interested in protecting. But I'm allowed to cut off any and all trade or business with that same country, even imposing a foreign country destroying embargo. We could bring down other countries by just embargoing their goods and do anything else I want to them. How nonsensical is that? That's essentially could start a war too, because if we're going to do an embargo that's going to destroy the country, you think they're not going to fight back even if they don't want to? Like, what the fuck? Okay, they're saying that I have the absolute right to license, but not the right to charge a license fee. What license has ever been issued without the right to charge a fee? But now the court has given me the unquestioned right to ban all sorts of things from coming into our country, and much more powerful right than many people thought we had. Okay, so capitalized right there. Our country is the hottest anywhere in the world, but now I'm going to in a different direction, which is even stronger than our original choice, as Justice Kavanaugh wrote in his dissent. He's mentioning the dissent again that we need to read. Now he's actually seems like he's taking a quote.
And we got that in Diggers too. We got that.
Tim. Okay, thank you, Tim. You want to read this part for me, Tim? Do you mind?
Yeah, sure. Quote unquote. Although I firmly disagree with the court's holding today, the decision might not substantially constrain a president's ability to order tariffs going forward. That is because numerous other federal statutes authorize the president to impose tariffs and might justify most, if not all, of the tariffs issued in this case. Those statutes include, for example, and I see that was posted, General Apex posted this, for example, the Trade Expansion Act of 1962, which is Section 232, the Trade Act of 74, which is Section 122, 201, and 301, and the Tariff Act of 1930, which is Section 338. Thank you, Justice Kavanaugh.
Oh,
and
thank
thanks,
you,
Jim Apex. He posted that in the chat as
Nice.
well.
Thank you. Just some autistic things. I saw 232 can also be the 322 Skull and Bones, or 223 Qschqql anniversary coming up, guys. Make sure I'll be there. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna do something wild. And then 338, 38 is 11, so you get the 311 or 11.3 in there. But I've just seen that. Anyways, okay. So there's the rest of that. I really want to read this other tariff Q drop. Look at Mag Gematria IEEPA 36. Law 36. Nice. What's tariff or I guess I can add the tariffs, because there was that one that was all caps. Oh, let me show that on QAG real quick. Okay, this is a search here, guys, from Mr. Smith. This is more advanced stuff, but you go to I got this tariff one up. I almost want to read first. Can we read this? Can we read this other tariff? You mind? Let's do that right now. And then I'll show you the search thing on how to do this true social search thing. Okay, so only 2 Q jobs with tariffs. Okay, boom, boom. This one majorly hit everywhere. Again, so we've got a 5.5 in here. 56 is also 11, so it's 11.511 on the timestamp I'm looking at. 11.20. We talked about the 410. Technically 20 if you add the 2 there, or 410 18s are. Anyways, we get China confirmed tariff reduction, cars. Okay, article provides foundation. He's talking about the foundation of how he's going to be allowed to tariff people. This is a future proofs past one big time. Major imports. He's talking about how, this is what this was all about. But now it says U.S. start, so that's interesting. I do want to add, Henry Ford originally made his Model T vehicle completely out of hemp oil. The actual structure of it, and you could hit it with a sledgehammer, it wouldn't dent, and then he even drove the vehicle on hemp oil. So maybe bringing up Henry Ford too for the autists out there. Let's highlight some of the free energy things that hemp can do, the amazing things hemp can do, and other things that we can do for helping all kinds of ways.
Did a show on it once for Qschqql.
I know is that the 421? That's really good. We'll have to highlight that.
We'll have to replay it sometime.
Maybe if you're doing. I should go too far off track, but maybe we can just link it in the chat here in a minute. Okay, but here's the other only second Q drop with tariffs. It's got a 1702, 725, July 25th, 2018, 1637, 57 on timestamp. EU blinked. Okay, now it's 2018, but let's just read this as if this drop is right now, guys. EU blinked really on, this is 2025 on different tariffs. They also blinked at the World Economic Forum, and now he's leaving NATO. I guess it's different than European Union. I kind of always consider them the same. But EU blinked, concessions made, 0 tariffs, U.S. between the U.S. and the European Union. America first. This is what happens when the POTUS does not sell out. This is why he's attacked so hard, guys. The deep state is a threat. After such an enormous announcement, what questions were shouted at POTUS? Oh my God, I'm getting chills right now. Tim, we just talked about this shit. Did you guys do that? Look at this. This is Future Proofs Past. After such an enormous announcement, what questions were shouted at POTUS? Melzie, you just talked about that. They didn't have their program. They'll do a script on the question. just to like, because it paints the narrative, regardless of what Trump says. The whole question is the narrative.
Yeah, I don't think they were ready for the sauce that POTUS gave.
They weren't. They were so caught off guard. So that's what like Mel was saying. They were like questioning what to do. Yeah, I see another number thing. If this is gematria, but hottest, I was thinking 107 Q drops, but it's shot is 107 Q drops. I think we've had some other 107s, but unless hottest is, that might have been gematria. Okay, but let's read this Q drop as is now. Okay, I'm gonna say it one more time. So this is what happens. America first. This is what happens when the POTUS does not sell out. After such an enormous announcement, what questions were shouted at POTUS? And now Russia delay in meeting with Putin in DC, eyes open. Mainstream media does not represent the people. The days of our leaders lining their pockets at the expense of their American taxpayers are over. Recent example is from Breitbart. Interesting. Go Kansas in all caps there. Let's see this article. Breitbart.
That would be Pompeo for those of you new to the Q drops.
Kansas. I think there's always double, triple meanings there too. So I just want to encourage that. You know, sometimes people, even the anons, always immediately go to Pompeo. But thank you for the connection. Yes, Kansas, Pompeo. But there's another one I've seen out there too. Is interesting. I can't think what it is. Business tied to McCaskill's husband get 131 million in federal subsidies. So this is all the way back in 2018, guys. We've been dealing with this shit. Wow. You know, these people getting caught.
Another Democrat, another scam.
Yeah. So there you go. All right. So I don't want to read that though anymore. And then
she's still a senator too. I can't believe it. She's still.
Oh wow! Holy cow! That is crazy.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
I don't know what to make of that one. All right, so where are we at here? I think is there anything else that we want to cover?
So if you want to do Justice, if you scroll up a little ways, Melzie dropped Justice Kavanaugh from the Want to Saving channel. His decision today. You could read a little bit of that, maybe, and then just below that, Melzie also dropped the Plan B, which is pretty interesting reading, also. And on that note, I got to sign off. You guys got to get dinner ready for Matthew Q. But man, did I ever learn a lot today. Love you guys. Thank you, everybody. Hope you have a wonderful weekend. I'm looking forward to seeing you on Monday on our 5th anniversary show. Exciting times, you guys. Exciting times. So, and you guys have a great weekend yourselves.
And what do you got going on, Tim? Let's chat because I want to at least maybe play the 222 episode during the day. And if you're not around, it's whatever. But
I'm free all weekend, brother. I'm just going to keep rebuilding. I'm building up Matthew's coin collection. That's what I do in my spare time. So if you want to do something this weekend, yeah, definitely let me know and I'll come on with you guys.
All right. Sounds good, brother. Love.
All right, guys. Love you guys. Have a good weekend.
Good night. Good night.
Say goodbye. Say goodbye. Bye, everybody.
I'm doing the balloons for him. What do I gotta do? Oh, I can't. I don't have the balloons today. Can I get the heart? Can I get? They cut me off. Oh, there we go. All right. So I think we're gonna wrap it up. But I want to show the how to search the thing on True. It's actually through QAG. This is a bit high level Q stuff. Make it a better screen when we get a chance. I'm gonna be digging here. So I turned on again, so I'm on QAG, QAGG.news for anybody that's trying to learn Q drops out there. Probably past that at this point. We'll see what happens though. And then hit the feeds button.
Oh,
and I turned on Trump's True Socials. What you got?
So you have 4 columns like of art, of posts there. Can you have it like be 2?
I'm not sure. I don't know if you can. That maybe we could ask Mr. Smith about that because Sharon, it would be better for the screen.
I was just wondering if you could.
I mean, you could always I can zoom it like that,
sure.
But I don't know. It's like because on your phone it's different.
Yeah,
that's above my kind of understanding. We could ask Mr. Smith about it. Okay. But okay, I'm going over to. I turned on again. Go to feeds. I turned on Trump's True Socials. I flipped just to go to his last True Socials here, and here's the one we were just looking at. Okay, to show you how ridiculous the opinion is. Okay, this big long tweet. Now on QAG, since I'm in here through QAG. Tim's gone. You guys remember what it is? It's one of these buttons here. Let's see what this wrench is. Post display options. Let's see what that does. Oh, I don't want that. Okay, here, what's this? Timestamp. Trump timestamp search. 12/24 drop a link. Screenshot post. I think it's near the end here. Copy text. Copy link to post. Here we go. Copy all capital letters from post to clipboard. May not be work on mobile devices. And then what's this spell check? So I think it's this one. I think we hit this A button. Do it.
I don't see anything.
Maybe did on the other post. Come on, man. Come on, man. Shit. Oh, there it is. Okay, so no, I did. It's just, he used to have colors in it. I did click it. Okay, so this A button here, and it took all the capital letters. Look at this big long post I read to show you how ridiculous the opinion is. Da da da. $1 country. All these capital letters. You see that? And he automatically maps it out for you on QAG by selecting that for you autists out there. There's all the capital letters. Then see, there's dollar in there. Okay, CIEPA. Wow. And then he does a thing where the letters cancel each other out. So once there's two C's, cross those off. Two L's, cross them off. Yeah, the tariff because he had because he had all caps. Yeah, you see it. It's kind of cool, right? Then you can see that too, like a little map. Look at all those.
Yes, I see a whole bunch of tariffs.
Yeah. So, and then look, he does the gematria, adds the gematria up, all the capital letters for you guys on Trump's True Socials. How do you like that? Thank you, Mr. Smith. Make sure you guys pop over. He's on X. Say, hey, Qschqql sent us. We appreciate that. Then I'll just give him a nod. Say, Qschqql sent us. Thank you for this amazing work you've done on QAG and how the True Social. And then here's the mirror of the letters. And then again, the duplicates. Duplicates removed. There was one V. Okay, guys. So that whole long post, every single letter in the alphabet was capitalized, was duplicated except for V. All right. So what the fuck does that mean? I don't know. But 22, he said 22 of those assholes said the tariffs would be bad for the economy. There's one of 22 in the Q drops. Let me show that real quick after this.
That's incredible.
And then I think it did it for this one here too. And is this the same or is it different posts? Okay, separate posts. So is this the second part of it? Yeah. Here's the second one. I thought this would have even more letters than the other one. I'm not sure which order it's supposed to be now. It's kind of crazy. There's the ridiculous opinion one. And then here's the second half. The Supreme Court ruling on tariffs. Okay, Kavanaugh, anything, fools and lapdogs. Lots of caps, IEPA tariffs again there. Make America great, tariffs. Now look at, you'll see it again. There it is, tariffs, fools, lapdogs, but actually a lot less capital letters in this one. It seems similar in length, but the other one surprisingly has a lot more capital letters in there. Just didn't seem like it, but isn't that subtle?
It is. It's incredible.
That's really interesting to me. Okay, so and then when you cancel all the letters out on this one, you got VUYJ or JU, and then the gematria comes out to 78. Pretty freaking cool they do that. And I'm actually going to go back to the tariff Q post because remember these letters. Yeah. Well, that one Q post of the tariff had those interesting letters. So anyways, thank you, Mr. Smith. Find him on X there. He's at QAG News on X and say, Qschqql sent us. Thanks for all the amazing work you've done. Something like that would be fun. We appreciate all that. Shouting us out. And, just shouting him out, too, for the amazing work he's done. Oh, yeah, tariff real quick. So tariff, I got to flip it now again, I guess he does it on the Q post, too. So check this out. This is really cool because it's the same, it's the same tools, guys. So on this 11 Q drop with all these capital letters that was standing out to me, guess what? I'm just going to click the A button here. And then at the bottom, he's got it all summarized. Look there's all the capital letters. Okay, boom, and then it comes to 179, simple English gematria, duplicates removed, and there it is. I don't know, maybe that comes up for something for you. Either way, you're freaking awesome. I did it, and then for some reason, why would those mirrored simple gematria be different? Oh no, this is just the letters, but that comes out to 86. Commander 86, Hunter 86, Game Over 86. Oh, there's some fun with gematria. Let's do this one. This is a big one, and then we'll wrap it up. Look at all those. Holy shit balls. Excuse my language. Oh my God. Thank God he does the math. 3,871 for my gematria friends. Don't do the other ones that can equal that. You could have anything in the history of the world equal 3,871. Anything you ever wanted, you could make it work. And look at that, though. There's 3 letters that didn't have duplicates, oddly enough.
Wow, that's crazy.
I know, because there's B right there. You'd think there would be another B in there. Right. There's not another B in the entire freaking thing. That's kind of mind-boggling. And then that comes out to 50. So play around with that, you autist kids there, if you want as well. That's on QAG specifically. All right. Okay. Anything else do we need to cover? I'm kind of done with it. We're a couple hours in anyways.
Sounds good.
Do we get to all? Okay, so I'm gonna also show the video. Trump's gonna, this will get the video that get Trump elected. This is gonna be all part of it. The symbolism and the whole thing is everywhere in there, and this is shared many, 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 many times in the Q drops. Let's try to find it. That was my original search that I found the 17 today. And thank you, Mag5, all the things you did and all the diggers. I can't believe all the ones you found already. But I was searching. Let me turn off Trump's truths here. I'm gonna get mixed up. But I was searching for only a matter of time. So instead of going like only a matter of time, sometimes you're not usually going to even get anything on that because there could be a comma or something. So in this instance, there was 2 Q drops. So I know it's going to be one of the ones that I want, I think. Maybe I'm wrong. I guess that's wrong. So not everything else for a reason, though. But just to show in the search terms, though, you can play by using less words and stuff. So I did only first. I had 189 drops. And then I was going to do only a matter. But I was like, I'll just stop at A just to see what happens. And this is how we got to find these 17s. Only A. Only space A is one of the ones we found also there too, but that wasn't what I wanted. It was, I guess let's do not another. We'll do not another because not another 4-year election is what we're looking for. And here's the video right here. This is not another 4-year election. Listen very carefully. Power returned to the people. Long-term solutions, guys. That was a Supreme Court decision and it's final. Finito. Poppy Trumpo can do whatever he wants in a different form than the old thing that they basically got, tried to squash down. Pretty crazy. It's going to be wild. Panic indeed. Panic everywhere for these globalist assholes. Time to celebrate, kids. It's the greatest time to be alive. Anons, let's go. Okay, any last words, MelzieKaye? And we're going to do the video that's going to get DJ Trump elected.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okie dokie, okie dokie. Love you guys. Love, love, love. Here we go, DJ T.
Our movement is about replacing a failed and corrupt political establishment with a new government controlled by you, the American people. The Washington establishment and the financial and media corporations that fund it exist for only one reason: to protect and enrich itself. The establishment has trillions of dollars at stake in this election. For those who control the levers of power in Washington and for the global special interest, they partner with these people that don't have your good in mind. Our campaign represents a true existential threat like they haven't seen before. This is not simply another 4-year election. This is a crossroads in the history of our civilization that will determine whether or not we, the people, reclaim control over our government. The political establishment that is trying to stop us is the same group responsible for our disastrous trade deals, massive illegal immigration, and economic and foreign policies that have bled our country dry. The political establishment has brought about the destruction of our factories and our jobs as they flee to Mexico, China, and other countries all around the world. It's a global power structure that is responsible for the economic decisions that have robbed our working class, stripped our country of its wealth, and put that money into the pockets of a handful of large corporations and political entities. This is a struggle for the survival of our nation, and this will be our last chance to save it. This election will determine whether we're a free nation or whether we have only the illusion of democracy, but are in fact controlled by a small handful of global special interests rigging the system, and our system is rigged. This is reality. You know it, they know it, I know it, and pretty much the whole world knows it. The Clinton machine is at the center of this power structure. We've seen this firsthand in the WikiLeaks documents, in which Hillary Clinton meets in secret with international banks to plot the destruction of U.S. sovereignty in order to enrich these global financial powers, her special interest friends, and her donors. Honestly, she should be locked up. The most powerful weapon deployed by the Clintons is the corporate media, the press. Let's be clear on one thing. The corporate media in our country is no longer involved in journalism. They're a political special interest, no different than any lobbyist or other financial entity with a total political agenda, and the agenda is not for you, it's for themselves. Anyone who challenges their control is deemed a sexist, a racist, a xenophobe. They will lie, and then again, they will do worse than that. They will do whatever is necessary. The Clintons are criminals, remember that. This is well documented. And the establishment that protects them has engaged in a massive cover-up of widespread criminal activity at the State Department and the Clinton Foundation in order to keep the Clintons in power. They knew they would throw every lie they could at me and my family and my loved ones. They knew they would stop at nothing to try to stop me. Nevertheless, I take all of these slings and arrows gladly for you. I take them for our movement so that we can have our country back. I knew this day would arrive. It's only a question of when. And I knew the American people would rise above it and vote for the future they deserve. The only thing that can stop this corrupt machine is you. The only force strong enough to save our country is us. The only people brave enough to vote out this corrupt establishment is you, the American people. Our great civilization has come upon a moment of reckoning. I didn't need to do this, folks, believe me. I built a great company, and I had a wonderful life. I could have enjoyed the fruits and benefits of years of successful business deals and businesses for myself and my family, instead of going through this absolute horror show of lies, deceptions, malicious attacks. Who would have thought? I'm doing it because this country has given me so much, and I feel so strongly that it's my turn to give back to the country that I love. I'm doing this for the people and for the movement, and we will take back this country for you, and we will make America great again.
Let's go! Let's go! And Maestro. That's right. That's right. Oh yeah, love. Thanks everyone. Trump Tariff Daddy's in the house, rocking and rolling. Thank you guys, love. Make sure you have notifications on because we might be coming on this weekend. Let's do something 220.